Hey, what's up, Yeousch Sports? Tony here, and we're playing a little MLB 12, the show. This is Road to the Show, and this is my character, Tony Miller, and as you can see, we got drafted by the Brewers, and he's a starting pitcher. And what I like to do when I play the show, I usually play at least two different characters, one pitching, definitely a starting pitcher, and one fielder, typically an infielder, and that is pretty much because it reflects my own baseball history. I started out as a pitcher, and I still am a pitcher, and then I was, of course in Little League you play every single position pretty much, but I ended up in high school as an infielder, actually a third baseman to be honest. I moved from middle infield, second base to third base in my sophomore year in high school. So anyway, so when I make characters for the show, I have that reflect that sort of variety in my own personal life and put it into the game. Now it'd be kind of cool if they had like a college baseball game where you could play both sides of the, like infield. You could be an infielder or an outfielder and a pitcher on certain days. That'd be kind of cool. But I haven't seen a decent college baseball game since like 04 or something like that. I can't exactly remember what year it was. Maybe it's a little later than that. Maybe it's 05, 06. But anyways, we're going to talk about the show. That's why we're here. Let's go ahead and talk about the basics. I mean, the game, it looks like MLB 11. It sounds a little different. The catching sound effects and the hitting sound effects are a little different. The commentators are still the same. For the most part, it's like, do you like the aesthetics of it? How do you like the way it plays and feels? It plays pretty much the same. The pitchers feel, so far, they feel far more consistent and more precise. I don't know if that's just this particular character or whatever, but the pitching seems to be more precise. The umpires seem to be a little bit better. There's a couple of calls that I get in this game where they're balls. They called balls, but they should have been strikes. But those happen, in real life. But it's part of the game, People bitch about umpires, and that's just one aspect of the game, and it reflects itself here in the show. However, at times, at least when MLB 11, playing as a pitcher, it became excessive. You're just like, okay, come on. You weren't getting, quarter plate calls on both sides of the plate. It wasn't as if the umpire was calling them inside, not calling them outside. It was like they weren't calling anything but down the middle, and it got pretty frustrating to play, especially as a pitcher. As a hitter, you love that because you take what you get fooled or whatever, and you take a strike and it gets called a ball, and you're just kind of like, yep. That's because my character's a beast and he's got that reputation, so that's a reputation call. Conversely, as a pitcher, pitchers get reputation calls further and further outside, of the black, because they're good pitchers and they've got good, like Greg Maddux. Some of you guys might remember Greg Maddux back in the late 90s when that strike zone was pretty big, and those were reputation calls. That was before they really started regulating the strike zone, so I guess I'm showing my age right now. Let's see, what other aspects of the game? Hitting, I haven't done much hitting yet. I haven't played much as my fielding character. I played more as my pitcher than the fielding character. But from what I can tell, the hitting seems to be a little bit more challenging. But there's a couple of things that I might have to take into account, is that I haven't adjusted my sliders yet. When I adjust my sliders, I change the pitch velocity up like 3 or 4 notches. So my timing, by comparison to say MLB 11, I am way out front of everything, like that fastball up. Just like, whoa, come on. Just like, okay, I need to sit on something, and fortunately for me, he goes and lays a curveball right over the middle of the plate. So it's perfect. I was looking to sit anyways, and he threw me a great pitch to sit on. So, like I said, I can't comment exactly on the hitting yet. I've heard from other people, from subscribers of mine, saying that they think that the hitting is a little bit more challenging, especially hitting home runs. I don't know yet. I'll get that information when I actually play a little bit more as my fielder. But I mean, as a pitcher with like 0 contact, 0 power, I was able to hit that ball with some good authority over the second baseman into right field. So I was kind of like, I don't know, feels good to me. The timing's the only issue on my part, and that's just because I adjust my sliders to be, I don't want to say like closer to real life, but it's just easier to hit for me when it's not like waiting all day for a pitch to come in. And so Like I said, it's easier for me, but playing online, it's a challenge if I ever play online, just because the pitch speed is 3 or 4 notches slower. So then I'm kind of like, okay, you know, I can't adjust my sliders, and they can't adjust their sliders, so it becomes a problem playing online. So that's why I kind of gave up on it. So maybe what I'll do is I'll probably stick with the default pitch settings, the velocity settings, so that way I can play online and not feel handicapped, because I literally struck out like 20 times when I was playing against a friend of mine who admittedly was a bad pitcher. He just couldn't pitch, and I couldn't hit the ball. Like, these were fastballs coming right down the middle, and I'm like swinging and missing. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Adjust or die, I guess, is mentality right now. But one thing I do want to ask is, I'm going to be doing a pitcher and a hitter. What I was thinking about doing is, this gameplay was around 17 minutes in its entirety. The coach, for some weird reason, I cut this thing off in the 5th inning because that's where I lose my no-hitter. And so, but I pitched from the 5th until the 7th, and I was exhausted. My pitcher's energy was gone around the 6th inning, and I was like, okay, this is going to end it for me right here. And nope, there's another inning, and I got into trouble and gave up a run, and it was just one of those things, just like, okay, well, that's not, you know, it's a really long gameplay. It's really hard to commentate over that long gameplay. So I don't know if you guys want to see the full pitching gameplay, so just see how I go about, you know, addressing hitters. But I figured like 5 or 6 innings, you know, going through the lineup once or twice might be enough, you know, for those of you guys who are having a hard time, you know, pitching. And if you guys want, I could do like a pitching tutorial, or just maybe like a live comm where I go and just be like, this is what I'm thinking, this is my reaction to the hitter right now. And so for those guys who want to get better at hitting, I could or pitching against hitters, I can do my best to convey the real life pitching knowledge that I have. That, you know, hopefully, I think it translates great into this baseball game. Sometimes I say that for the most part because sometimes the batters are fooled. Most of the time, it's the computer, and they'll hit anything that you throw up there. So it gets to be kind of a pain, you know. Just like, okay, real batters aren't going to be fouling off these hitters, or these pitches. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna swing and miss more than they do in this video game. So there's certain things. But anyways, let me know in the comment section if that's something you'd like. And also, what I'm going to be doing, which I don't do in this commentary. I don't know why I stopped recording. I had a brain fart or something. But I'm going to show you how I spend my performance points, and how I go about getting a pitcher to the show as quickly as possible. It's a little bit more difficult with a pitcher than a fielder, because you can just, like, as a hitter, you can throw points into contact power, plate vision, fielding, arm strength, accuracy, all these key components that make for Major League fielder and hitter. But pitching, you know, you've got control, and you've got walks and strikeouts and home runs, and pitching clutch, stamina, you know, and then all beyond that, you've got to worry about fielding, arm accuracy, hitting if you want to play in the National League, like I'm playing in the National League. So I'm going to have to worry about putting some points into hitting, bunting especially, base running, speed. So there are other factors, like if you're an American League pitcher, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But if you're a National League pitcher like I am, then it's cause for concern. To be honest, if you've never played any sort of road to the show before, it can be a little overwhelming. Just like, wow, I have all these things to adjust. So I'll go over that probably in another video, just because I wanted to make it a quick, like, hey, I'm back video. And for those of you guys who don't know, last year in December, I went to Europe for 3 weeks, but before that, about, I don't know, a week before I went to Europe, or maybe it was less than a week before I went to Europe, I accidentally had a laptop, and I was making hockey videos and football videos and my own, you know, Call of Duty videos and time and Battlefield videos. And so I spilt soda. I knocked over soda all over my keyboard, and I fried my computer. So I've been without a computer up until, I don't know, last week sometime. I finally got my tax return back, and I was able to go buy a nice iMac. And so now I'm back and rolling. But for those of you guys, like I said, who didn't know, maybe who are getting introduced to me to the first time, I've been around for a while. I've just been sort of on hiatus. So it feels really good to be able to make a video again for Yeousch Sports. It's I love sports. I love talking about sports, and we're going to be talking a lot about sports. And I'm a Padre fan. Excuse me, I'm a Padre fan. But I'm not going to exclusively focus on, say, like the Padres or the National League West or like the big teams. I'm going to try to get in and cover as many teams as I can and just sort of see like what's going on and just talk about baseball. It's a long season, so there's a lot to talk about. And one thing I'm going to be doing, which is not normal for me because I don't really get into fantasy sports, but I'm going to be doing fantasy baseball with a couple friends of mine. I might have to talk to Bafe to see if there's going to be like a Yeousch Sports fantasy baseball going on. I've never done it before. I did like a half a season of fantasy football, and it turned into nothing but like shit talking and your mom jokes online, and I just didn't keep up with it. So I got kind of turned off the whole fantasy sports thing because of that one experience. It was like it's probably like 4 years ago or so. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. Point is, though, is I'm going to be trying it out, and from what I understand, I mean, I think of myself as a pretty good sports fan. You know, I keep up with sports, especially my own team. But from what I understand, is if you really get into these fantasy sports, you get to know a lot of players, a lot of prospects, trades, and you become very, very informed about the happenings and the goings-ons in Major League Baseball. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, I'll be honest. So anyways, you saw in this inning, I lost my no-hitter. Hitting was contagious that inning. They just like bam, 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 hit. So I was able to walk away with just 1 run earned. So that's not too bad. So anyways, like I said, I cut this thing short. I went in and I pitched. We'll take a look at the stats right now, but it was 7 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, 2 runs, 200 runs, 5 hits. So anyways, guys, that's my time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeousch!